E-PRANCE Mini 803 car dash cam camera is available from Amazon. It's not that expensive, easy to order, and easy to get delivered. Now, Kim knows that there's 3 steps to a successful dash cam installation. First off, you have to unbox it. Secondly, you're going to have to attach it to the windshield in your car. And then finally, you're going to have to provide some power. Kim knows that there's never enough power in a car, but that's okay. She's got another video where she'll show you how to put more cigarette lighter adapters into your car. Kim knows the very first thing you have to do whenever you're dealing with a dash cam is, of course, order it from Amazon. When it arrives, it'll be packed, and the actual dash cam itself is going to be sealed in a very, very well-wrapped package. Now, this package is so well wrapped that you're not going to be able to get it open just with a single hand. It's going to take a little extra effort here, but once we've done that, let's go ahead and put the camera down. There we go. All right, we're going to have at it now. Let's go ahead and get that package open. Once again, the wrapping that the camera comes in is actually really quite good. So perhaps they wrapped it in this to get it over here from China. If so, it was well done because it kept the box nice and safe. All right, now it's time to get the wrapping off, and let's take a look at the box. There's labeling on both sides of the box, so let's take a look here. That's the top. Obviously, what we have inside this box is going to be the dash cam, the 803 model that we ordered. If you take a quick look on the side here, you'll see that there's a lot of information about the specs on this one. You can pause the video and take a look at that if you want. On this side, oddly enough, they checked GPS tracker and no GPS tracker. This dash cam does have a GPS unit built into it. Once again, more specific technical information on the back side of it. Take a look on the final side there. It's just more information. Once again, GPS and no GPS, oddly enough, have both been checked off on this one. Nothing on the bottom of the box. Okay, so we've pretty much taken a look at the whole box. Now it's probably time to go ahead and open it up, which is easy to do, thankfully, with one-handed. Now that's the actual camera sitting there on top. So we take that out of there very carefully there. We'll set that off to the side. In the box, we're going to find a series of wires. The first wire is actually going to be the power cable that we'll use. Once we're going to connect it into the car, we'll set it over there. The next one is actually the little connector that we'll actually connect it to, and then there's one more cable that actually connects it to a PC if you want to do that, and one more sticky tab just in case one sticky tab doesn't do it for you, and a very skinny set of instructions is also included. That's it. That's all that's actually in the box. So there we go. Everything in the box that we ordered. Fantastic. If we take the wires out of the wrappers, we'll see this is the cable that's included so you can connect the camera directly to a PC or to a laptop. You've seen those before. This is the plug-in for the car into the cigarette lighter, and then this is the part that goes actually into the digital camera itself. Pretty standard sort of stuff there. We've got our sticky pad here. Once again, it comes with a sticky pad on it, so you shouldn't need this, but if you need it, it is there. This is actually the connector that you'll slide the camera into, and then you'll also connect the power to. So nothing on that side. Rotate over, nothing there. Oh, there's the power connector. That's exactly where we'll slide it in. Got the sticky stick on the bottom. And then on the top, there's of course the connector that we'll slide the camera into. Now, let's take a look at the camera itself. Take the camera out of its packing. Take its protective coat off of it. Boop, there we go. There is the camera. This is what we were looking for, right? You can see that it says E-PRANCE on it. It has protectors on the screen and also on the connector. There you can see where you slide in the memory and also where you could plug in to connect to your computer. This is actually where the camera lens itself is. Okay, let's orientate it correctly. That's how it would look if it was actually on attached to your car. Now that's the on-off switch. So if it's charged, you can press that and you can turn it on and off, and there's absolutely nothing on that particular end. All right, so this is pretty good stuff. Now we're going to come over and get our 8 gig memory card. All right, now that's the big holder, but if just a little bit of an effort here, I think we can slide out the actual, there we go. That's the actual card that will fit into the 803 camera unit. It's going to slide in through the bottom there, okay? So, all right, this is going to take just a moment because we're doing this sort of one-handed. Let's see if we can get things sort of set up correctly here. All right, so we'll take the memory card, we'll go up to the camera. You can see that we sort of orientate it correctly. It's really quite simple to do. It's just a little push. You do have to be a little careful on this camera because it has a heck of a spring in it. If you don't get it in there fully, it's going to throw it out and you'll have to go searching on the floor for it. But there we go. So we've got our 8 gig in there. I believe the camera does come with 8 gig, but if you store your 8 gig to the card, then you can obviously remove it if you needed to. Otherwise, it'd actually be stored on the camera itself. Now, this next step, what we're going to do is we're going to slide the camera into its windshield mount, which will also connect it to its power source. So we got the camera, we've got the mount. You can see where the little metal connectors are that'll slide into that allow the camera to be powered once we plug the power into the mount. All right, so let's see what's going to be the best way to show you this. Here, we'll do it sort of on our side here. You can sort of see how it slides together. You can see that this is actually the redesigned mount that allows it to stay in there nice and tight. So we're going to go just sort of line things up, give it a little push, click, and we are good to go. Fabulous. Now we're basically all set to mount this to the windshield in the car. Okay, so how's this going to look? You can sort of see how it is. To show you how it's going to be orientated in your car, maybe the best thing to do is to actually here. What we'll do is we'll just sort of grab it here. What I wanted to do is show you how it rotates, because the camera actually is on a rotatable axle. So if it was attached to your windshield, it would look something sort of like this. Here, what's the best way to show this to you here? I'm going to go ahead and set the camera down for just a moment. What I want to do is show you that it rotates through about 45 degrees. So if you can see that, that's all one direction, and we're going to go all the way there. That's all the other direction. So you get to see that it has actually a pretty good degree of rotation. So you can attach it to your windshield and then just adjust it to your heart's desire, and you'll be good to go. Pretty much you should be able to see everything that you want to see. Back and forth, you can just sort of see where we're at there. Alrighty. I think we're good to go. Now we're out in the car. When we're in the car, the very first thing we want to do is clean the part of the windshield that we're going to be attaching it to. We're just going to use a little glass cleaner here. Clean it off. Just make sure that we've got a nice clean situation, because you know this is a one-shot deal when we affix our adhesive package to there. So we got that nice and clean. Means that we won't have any dirt or any oil or anything like that that would be blocking us. Okay, next thing we need to do is we've got the camera unit here. Fantastic. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull this. What we'll do is we'll take the protective cover off the screen. All right, that's good to go. And after we get that one off, oh wait, you know, I just realized something. This is all going to be sort of silly if I don't turn on the car's electrical system. And the reason I say that is because we want to make sure that we orientate it correctly. You can see just real quickly here that the screen is now on, so we can determine that it's not upside down. That's actually a really, really important point. You'd hate to install this upside down. So we're taking the protective cover off the actual camera lens itself. We've determined that yes, it is orientated correctly, so that's good news right there. All right, we're going to go ahead and pull the sticker off of the mounting piece there. Okay, it's off. Now this is a really sticky adhesive, so you want to be a little bit careful after you turn that off. Let's get this just right here. Here we go. We're going up. We're gonna, in my case, I'm going to line it up directly with where the rear view mirror is attached to my windshield. That was perfect for me. And the reason it was perfect for me is because I can't see it when I'm driving. Now that's going to be important. I'll show you why. But I wanted to hide the camera from my visual range when I was actually driving the car. Okay? There's a flashing blue and red light that indicates that you're recording. So it's a little flashing light that just sits there and pulses. And I didn't want to have to see that when I was driving. So when I installed the camera, I installed it so that the rear view mirror would block my view. Now this is a auto trim set that I've had actually for a little while. I'm going to use this a little bit later on when I'm installing the wire. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to run the wire from the camera, of course, up into the car's header lining, and I'm going to tuck the wire in. I'm going to tuck it in behind where the header lining meets the windshield. The whole purpose of this is to basically hide the wire. I don't want the wire to be dangling or to be getting in my way or to be coming undone or anything like that. So you can see we're sort of stretching a little bit, and then we're going along piece by piece, and we're pushing the wire up and in and under. Now, when we come to the end here, obviously we've got to run it down this side post. Our initial thought on this is that we could run it down the side between basically the post and the windshield. And what you're going to see, we're trying that right here. What we very, very quickly discovered was that that wasn't going to work. There was no way really to get the wire to fit in behind the post and the windshield. So we had to come up with another plan. What we quickly discovered is that on the other side of the post, it was actually going to be pretty easy to do. So using one of those pry tools, what we did is we ran the wire along what's already a seam, just made the seam look a little bit darker, so that's not really a big deal. But then on this other side, it was pretty easy, relatively easy, to push the wire in between the seal for the door and then actually the bar, the side bar that runs up and down the side of the car there. So you're going to see that we're sort of pushing it in there. It obviously pulls the wire a little bit up until the point where we get enough of it in. So we had to sort of hold it up at the top and then push it in, running the entire length of the door. But this was actually a really great solution because it makes the wire disappear. And you're not going to really notice the wire as it runs along the seam up there because there was already a seam there. So we hold it in place, keep running it down here, we're pushing it in once again between the bar, that's the side of the car there, and then also sort of some of the stripping or weather stripping that makes up the seal for that particular door, which is actually really easy to do. So it's just a matter of poking it in there, sort of working it in, getting it in all the way from the top to the bottom. We're down to the last little bit right here. Get that tucked in there. Now it's just going to be a straight run down to the floor. So let's get that last bit taken care of. Now here we go. What we're doing is we're running basically from the top of the dashboard down to the bottom of the dashboard. This is just exactly like what we did when we started at the ceiling. What we're doing is we're working it in between the dashboard and sort of the weather stripping that's used to, you know, make sure that the door is waterproof. So using the tool, we're just putting a little push on it, getting it in there, getting it all the way down to perfect. Now we're at the bottom of the dashboard. Now, this is what things look like underneath. I've pulled out a little panel. Here you can see this is how it normally is. This is how it is when I pull it out. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the extra wire that I have. I'm pretty much gonna work it straight back in there so it doesn't get caught on anybody's feet or anything like that. Okay, so there's, you can see where I have my power supply mounted over on the side here. Now there was another project where we talked about installing that power supply, but here's what I'm doing. I'm working the extra cord that I have back into that back area there. Once I get it all tucked in there, I'm just gonna flip it up and it's all gonna magically disappear and there won't be anything left, right? No feet gonna get caught on it. There's gonna be no visual issues as far as people seeing it or anything along those lines. So we're just gonna go ahead and pop that piece of plastic back in place, just give it a little whack. There we go. Pretty much we're good to go, and now it's all vanished. Fantastic. That's exactly what we wanted to have happen. All right. Are we good to go here? I think we are. Okay. Now this is what the dash cam looks like from the outside. You really can't see it from head on. From the side, if you look really carefully, you might be able to see it there just a little bit. When we take a look in the car, you can see that it's just hanging out right there. There's really no wires or anything like that. When we go over to the passenger side, you can see that there's really no visible wires whatsoever. We've done a great job of working it in between the pillar and the weather stripping. Across the top, we did a great job of tucking it in. So there's really no wires, and it runs all the way right there to the dash cam. So a nice, clean installation is exactly what we have here. This is exactly what we were looking for. Now Kim says, hey, as long as you've gone to all the effort of basically installing that, hey, it's time to take the car out and give it a shot. Let's take a look and see how it works.